a registered acupuncturist and Chinese medicine herbalist. Today I am talking about what is DAO. This is really tricky subject to talk about, but this is very important to be introduced for before other concepts of Chinese medicine. So I decided to make a presentation about it. So, have you heard the word DAO? DAO or TAO, DAO, it's the same thing. It's just a different way to write in English. But you may heard the word as some Chinese philosophical concept, or maybe something mysterious or exotic about it. Dao is the basic concept that Chinese philosophy, including Chinese medicine and or astrology or divination, it's all about Dao. So this is very important to know, or important to understand, although it is very hard to understand. What we Chinese medicine practitioner do is essentially based on this Dao. The concept of Dao is the foundation of Chinese medicine. The word Dao was first appeared in the book called Dao De Jing. So this is Dao De Jing. Dao De Jing was believed it is traditionally credited to the 6th century before Common Era. It's written by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, you may have heard the name. He's the first person who came up with the word Dao, although the concept, without being called what it is, long before existed, but he's the first one. Lao Tzu kind of invented Lao Tzu gave the name to Dao. So it is now considered to be a sacred text for the Taoism as a religion, but originally it was not. It became a religion later on. But Lao Tzu himself didn't mean to make a religion or write the religious text or anything like that. Also appeared in the Yellow Emperor's inner canon called Huangdi Neijing, which is written around 4th century before Common Era. So it's around the same time. It's around the similar time. I think Dao De Jing was before Huangdi Neijing. Huangdi himself is thought to be from way before. So Huangdi, so in China, there's a Zhou dynasty, and before, which was I think the oldest known dynasty is the Zhou dynasty, and then before Zhou dynasty there was a Yin dynasty, and then before that there's a Xia dynasty. But those dynasties are only appeared as a fictional or some sort of as a reference in a fictional dynasties, but it is believed that it existed. Huangdi is even before the Xia dynasty. So Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon is the oldest and the textbook for Chinese medicine that is still relevant. A lot of the Chinese medicine foundation is from Huangdi Neijing, and even though this was written like, I don't know, like a good 2,400 years ago, we still based on our practice on Huangdi Neijing. And Huangdi Neijing is based on the concept of Dao. So knowing what Dao is really important. So in the Huangdi Neijing, chapter 1, it says, during his reign, Huangdi discoursed on medicine. He was a prodigy of many things. One of his talent was medicine. health, lifestyle, nutrition, and Taoist cosmology with his ministers Chibo or Leigon or other heavenly teachers. The first discussion began with Huangdi inquiring. So Huangdi Neijin is a conversation between Huangdi and somebody else. So mostly Huangdi asking Chibo meaning of the Chinese medicine or meaning of the this and that. But the first question he asked was, he said, I've heard that in the days of old, everyone lived 100 years without showing the usual signs of aging. In our time, which is Huangdi's time, 2,400 years ago, however, or a long time ago, so Huangdi is supposedly from a long, long time ago. However, people age prematurely, living only 50 years. Is this due to a change in environment, or is it because people have lost the correct way of life? So already thousands of years ago, Huangdi was concerning the lifestyle these days is not the best. Like we used to live better lives and then we don't. Why is that? Thousands of years ago, he said. Chibo replied, in the past, people practiced the Tao. So this is the first sentence that Chibo said in the book, Huangdi Neijin. He said, in the past, people practiced Tao. That's why they lived 100 years without showing the usual signs of aging. He continues. They understood the principle of balance of yin and yang as represented by the transformation of the energy of the universe. Thus, they formulated practices such as Daoyin, and Qigong exercise combining stretching, massaging, and breathing to promote energy flow. So that's Daoyin exercise. And meditation to help maintain and harmonize themselves with the universe. They ate a balanced diet at the regular times, arose and retired at regular hours, avoided overstressing their bodies and minds, and refrained from overindulgence of all kinds. They maintained well-being of body and mind, thus it is not surprising that they lived over 100 years. So another video that I shoot about what is Chinese medicine, I talked about what is yin and yang and what is mean to live with the energy of the universe, which is a Tiandi Ren. But basically, he said, when you know the balance of yin and yang, when you know what is Tiandi Ren, so heaven, earth, and human in between, how to live with the universe, how to live with the environment, the natures of the earth. And when you do exercise, like a Daoyin Qigong exercise, or when you meditate, or when you eat well, and when you wake up early, go to bed early, when you don't have too much stress and bodies and mind, when you don't overdoing of any of the indulgence, like like alcohol or snacks or chocolates or whatever, you live long. So, what is Tao? So this is the character for Tao. This part itself meaning the now this part it means the neck, but ancient time this means the beginning, and then this part meaning the ending, the end. So Tao contains both the beginning and end, two opposite polarities. So yin and yang. Tao is about yin and yang. the truth in yin and yang. So this is literally meaning the way. It could be the way, the road. It could be the road or street, the way, or the way how naturally things work, the way things works. Martial art or flower arrangement or tea ceremony is all have these characters inside. Wu Dao or Hua Dao or Cha Dao. It's all about the Dao. It's the way things works, the way how naturally things work without extra effort, the way how stars move, the way how season changes, the way how tide comes and go, the way how plants photosynthesize, taking CO2 and emit O2, the way how animal kingdom works, the way how insects and plants co-live, the way how human body functions naturally, the way how mind, body, spirit works. It is a universal principle that everyone and everything exists under under heaven or in the universe without exception. Because we have the way how the moon and sun works enables that the plants to live, so the animals can live. That the way because of that the ocean works and the tides works, and because of the way nature works, human being existed. And that's also same with on the Mars or on the Jupiters or on the Saturn or outside of the solar system. There is the way things works. Always. So the Tao in organism, living organism, is biology, how the plants works. The way of the numbers is a numerology. The Tao in the physical matters, physiology. The Tao in the of the earth with a geology or science in general. The Tao of the stars will be astrology. The Tao of matters will be the principle. So Tao is about how things works. And yin and yang and 5 elements are under the exact same law. Of course, Chinese medicine principle is under the same law. Treating principle according to the law, according to Tao. So the way we work in Chinese medicine is by following the Tao of the human being, human body, mind, and spirit, and the Tao of the plants, Tao of the disease. This is how Chinese medicine works. So, in Tao Te Ching, by Lao Tzu, chapter 1, this is the very first sentence of the Tao Te Ching. 道可道，非常道；名可名，非正名。This part very famous. And this is the reason why it's hard to teach. So it says, 道可道，非常道 means Tao that is explained and shown is not the eternal Tao. So the very first sentence, Lao Tzu said, Tao cannot be taught. Tao cannot be introduced or taught orally or using a language, because Dao is beyond the language. Dao is something, so you have a regular, like a Dao, you can have a general idea of what Dao is, but the actual aha moment should comes by yourself, like it should come within yourself, or when you're looking at the beautiful flowers on the street, or how the spiders creating the spider's web, or like, I don't know, what would you have aha moment about Dao, but the actual understanding of Dao cannot be taught. As a concept, you can learn, just like any subjects, but the actual understanding of what Dao is it comes naturally when the time comes. My friend, he was sitting on the Muskoka chairs on his back deck, looking in the summer, looking at the big trees, and he was wondering how these big trees, the huge trees in his backyard, are not consuming all the nutrition on the soil, because he has flowers and vegetables and stuff like that. And he was like, just without, he's not a biologist or anything, he was actually an engineer, and he was just looking at the one day in the summer, sitting on the chair looking at this big tree, and suddenly he had aha moment, and he didn't know the word Dao is, what Dao is. He's a Canadian guy, and then he wrote a little article about it, about his aha moment, and I wrote and he showed it to me, and then I told him that's Dao, and he was like, see, this aha moment, it cannot be taught. 名可名非常名. Names that it is called is not the eternal name. 无名天地之至，有名万物之母. Before heaven and earth, there was no name. So there's nothing, nothingness, but there's a field with something. Wu is a void. Here, Wu means nameless, formless, void. So this is before Big Bang of the universe. Before this Big Bang happened, there was nothing there, but something was filling the space. This nameless, formless existence of the massive energy was before this Big Bang of the universe. And then after that, there is yin and yang emerged out of it. From the yin and yang, the heaven and earth begin. So after heaven and earth is formed, Tai Chi, which is the yin and yang, is the source of 10,000 things, meaning that from the moment of this, something happened, and now there's yin and yang, and then everything started from it. That's what the first chapter of the Tao Te Ching means. Before Lao Tzu, Fuxi is also a legendary cultural hero. He is even before Huangdi. He was said in Chinese legendary, he is the origin of the human. Him and his wife, or sometimes it's called his sister, the pair, just like Adam and Eve. But he was an origin of the human, and he also explained what is this phenomena. So he said, 无极生有极, 有极生太极. I'm not a Chinese, so I'm not the best at the reading Chinese, but what it means here is that limitless, before the Big Bang, this nameless, formless, just the pure energy of something that existed there, produced delimited. So after the Big Bang, I don't know, I'm not an astrologist, so I don't exactly know what happened, but at the beginning of the universe, the yin and yang started it. Before that, there was just limitless void, nothing, but the filled with some energy, life force of the universe was there, unlimited. But now we have limited. We have, I don't know how far the universe goes, but it is limited. And this demarcation is equivalent to the absolute, which is Taiji. Means yin and yang. Taiji is, there's a, you know yin and yang mark? That's Taiji. There is a yin and yang. Was formed out of nothingness. And then the Taiji, the two opposing force in embroic or very primitive form, produced two forms, which is yin and yang, which are called Liang Yi. Liang Yi means just the two opposing forces. These two forms produces full phenomena, which is Shaoyin, Taiyin, Shaoyan, and Taiyang. And then from the four phenomena act on the 8 trigrams, which is Bagua. 8 eights are now 64 hexagrams. So this is more like an I Ching. This is go to the I Ching, the book of change, which is way too complicated to explain here. But who she said, from the nothing, 2 came out. Like two opposing forces came out, yin and yang. From the yin and yang, like Lao Tzu said, yin and yang is the beginning of the source of the 10,000 things. Same thing. From the nothingness, now there is a yin and yang, means there's left and right, there's high and low, there's heat and cold, there's some opposing forces happened. From that, everything's in the universe started it. In Tao Te Ching, chapter 25, he also talks about, entire Tao Te Ching, he talks about Tao. But the chapter 25 says that an integrated being existed before the birth of the heaven and earth. Heaven and earth here means yin and yang. How still, how empty but filled it is, independently, without changing. So it's an eternal Tao. So this, how still, this is about this integrated being existed before yin and yang. It's serene, it's empty, but yet solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. Something was there. It is the mother of the heaven and the earth. So from the nothing, yin and yang was emerged. For lack of the better name, I call this Tao. So this integrated being, this something that produced the universe, physical universe, is called Tao. So Tao is before the universe. If I have to give a name, I call this great. Being great, Tao keeps expand flawlessly, and flawlessly it keeps returning. So it's like a breathing. It expands, it comes back. It expands, it comes back. Just like this is yin and yang. So yin and yang is this unchanging law under Tao. It breathes in, breathes out. Breathes in, and it breathes out. Therefore, Tao is great. The heaven is great. The earth is great. And human is great. He said, in the universe, the 4 are the great. And the human is one of them. Human imitates the earth. Earth imitates the heaven. Heaven imitates the Tao, and then the Tao imitates the nature. And this nature is not a trees or forest or ocean. This nature means without effort. This is an effortless being. That's what nature means here. And then this time, like ancient time, Lao Tzu didn't know anything about universe. Like he know that this is all we have, right? So he thought, without any concepts of they knew the astrology. They knew there is something massive outside of the earth, but they thought that we're the only being on the earth. Like, I don't know if they thought that the earth is the center of the universe back then, but for Lao Tzu, heaven is great, earth is great, but human is great. Why? Because this is us that recognize the heaven and earth. We recognize them. Without us being recognized, it's same with not being there. So humans are also part of this great whole. It's like last week I found $20 in a pocket of the jackets that are from I never wore for a couple of years, and then I for the fluke I wore this jacket and I found $20. Now this $20 exists, but this $20 always in my jackets, but I didn't know it was there. So it's same with it wasn't there because I didn't know it was there. Same thing. Heaven and earth and Tao is always there, but without us being recognizing what are they, it's same with nothing for us. Anyway, that's a different issue. So, so humans are part of the whole. And then he said, human imitates the earth. We live with the earth. Yeah, we live with the seasons. We live with the day and night. And the earth imitates the heaven, because earth is a part of the big universe. Earth is yin and heaven is yang. So the earth imitates the heaven. Heaven imitates the Tao. Tao existed before the heaven and earth. So the heaven imitates Tao. Tao is this nameless, formless being before the universe was there. And Tao imitates this effortless being. That's what this means. Tao for 自然. Tao imitates the nature. This is what we call Wu Wei. The Wu Wei is also pretty popular concept that you may have heard. Literal translation is not doing. But this doesn't mean that you just sit on the couch and do nothing. It means not doing with unnecessary extra efforts. So it's just be. Just being there. Just do things effortlessly. Just as the nature exists without its extra efforts, nature is always there without its making any extra effort or intention, special intention. Nature is always there. Just as birds know how to fly without thinking anything, they know like when the deer is born, it has shaky legs, but it knows that it needs to stand up immediately without being taught. The way it is. Wu Wei, it is the way to conduct things without extra intention or extra effort. When you see, I love Bob Ross. When you see Bob Ross paint, he does painting effortlessly. He exactly knows where to go to the colors and where to put the trees and where to put this tree's friends, because any tree needs a friend. And then he does this effortlessly, as if this is the way he breathes. He can paint. This is Wu Wei. You know, when you see somebody who masters a skill or something, they do things effortlessly. So when you're looking at that, like you think, oh, that looks so easy, but when you do it, it's very hard. This person does this without extra movement. They know that the shortest way to move the arms. They do things with exactly how it should be done. That's Wu. So that's the DAO. They know the DAO. When Jackie Chan does fighting, he does this so effortlessly, and of course, you know, to that point he reaches, you know, he may have, like, you know, he had to train a lot himself, and then he had a lot of injuries. Like, you know, it's amazing how many bones he's broken in his movie career. But when you look at it, he does this so effortlessly because his movement is so minimum, and he can do this as if this is the way it should be done. This is Wu Wei. Dao De Jing chapter 3 say, Wei Wu Wei, 自无不止, means follow the Wu Wei and everything will fall into the place where it should be. Everything will be managed as it is supposed to be. This is Wu Wei. So, now we know Dao is effortless the way it is, what it's supposed to be, like nature. So what is it in a human being? So the Tao of human being is a physiology, the way how the body works, which is homeostasis, the perfect being. Homeostasis. Tao of the disease is pathology. Of course, disease have Tao. Disease doesn't have an ill intention. It's just there, you know. We think disease is bad, but for diseases, it's just existing the way it should be. So it's pathology. 人法地，地法天，天法道. So human health emulates the bigger picture of the universe, which I talked about in a different video on what is Chinese medicine. We should wake up when the sun goes up, and we should go to bed when sun goes down, or when we should be more we should have more energy in the summer, and we should have less energy in the winter. This is human health. It emulates the bigger picture of the universe. For the same reason, small parts of the body emulates the bigger picture of the physiology. So this is bigger universe can manifest in human body. So for the same reason, bigger picture of the body physiology can be seen in the tiny parts of the body, like a foot reflexology, where the entire sole of the feet have it connects to the rest of the body, like the toes or the face, or here's the lung, here's a intestine. If you ever been to the reflexologist, they can tell you which organs you have imbalance by touching your feet, or ear reflexology or hand reflexology. There's the part of the in Chinese medicine we call it a microsystem. Big macro universe and micro universe, it's the same thing. Universal Tao in the human body. Well, before we go down here, so we learned that there's yin and yang, that we are governed, because we are in 3 dimension. It is yin and yang. The world of the yin and yang governs. So here's yin and yang, and you think this as a teeter-totter. If yang goes up, yin goes down. If yin goes up, yang goes down. It works like that. Of course, the entire when you get weaker, entire circle gets smaller, or when you have a lot of energy, entire circle becomes bigger. But in general, yin and yang is like a teeter-totter. It works. So the best is when the yin and yang is at the balance. Just like when the teeter-totter, the same weight sits on it, it becomes still, right? It doesn't move. The less movement the teeter-totter makes, the healthier you are. The bigger movement that the teeter-totter makes, you have severe illnesses. So this is Taiji. There's yin and yang. When this is balanced, this is still. Dao is where the stillness is. How serene, how empty, how still. Dao is where the stillness of the yin and yang teeter-totter is. So when human golden mean is at the balance, perfect balance of this equilibrium of yin and yang, there is a way to Dao, Uji. So this is what Chinese medicine essentially trying to do. Balance your yin and yang to bring your teeter-totter of the body, mind, spirit as still as possible. Universal Dao in human body is a true self. Here, there's the true self. True self is, see, when you're assuming your mom and dad is healthy, when the healthy mother and father conceived a child, that body is that true self. It's not contaminated with any extra yang or yin. It's this pure, this equilibrium, pure balance of yin and yang. That's true self of the body, mind, spirit. You are super healthy, like you are at the homeostasis, and your mind is healthy and your spirit is healthy. That's true self. True self in Buddhism, it's called Buddha nature. So Buddha nature is in Buddhism. So again, when the mother and father conceive, there's a tiny you in your mom. And then when the conception happens, the Buddha spares a little bit of the piece of the Buddha to each one of you. Each conceived embryo is given Buddha nature. And then that's the true self. That's in Buddhism. That's why in we say namaste in Hindu, means every one of a human being or anyone everybody that's existing on the earth, dog or dolphins or cats or even the bad people like villains or jokers or Batmans, they are each one of them have Buddha nature. That's why we put our paws together, yin and yang together, and we bow to this Buddha nature that's in you. That's the meaning of namaste. Manifestation of the true self is conscience. The true self gets fogged with the bad eating habit or pollution on the air or I don't know, internet. True self gets fogged. It's there. It's never been lost. It's always there, but it can get fogged and lost. When your conscience is bring up, that's that the true self does that. That's how the I don't know, this is a Taoism or Buddhism thinking, but that's how I was taught. And then to cultivate the true self, you need to work on the 5 virtues. So the 5 elements that are of Chinese medicine. So Chinese medicines have a lot of the foundation concept. One is Tiandiren, and then one is yin and yang. But the Wuxing, the 5 element, is another important part of the Chinese medicine that Huang Di Neijing talks about. Wood, under the wood, the virtue is benevolence or compassion, kindness. Fire, propriety, being polite. Earth is the faith. Metal is the righteousness. Try to do the right things. Want to be the right things. But again, it needs to be balanced. So like if you have too much righteousness without the benevolence, then you are like, I don't know what like these days the internet called Karen, right? Like wants to do like right things without wanting to be nice to this person, you know. This has to be all balanced, right? And then under the water, there's wisdom. To cultivate means try to find your true self. You need to work on these 5 virtues. And then follow your conscience, and then reclaim your true self. Some people call finding a true self is a spiritual awakening, or maybe in Christianity you may call this born again Christian. I don't know. I'm not a specialist of neither topic, but there is in any, I think, religion or any culture, there's a kind of concept of the true self that you need to reclaim. So this is here. So when your body mind is at the center, you have a way to go to the true self. And this is what essentially Chibo said, what Tao is. This is Tao. Here's the Tao. Tao is always there. Tao is in yourself. Tao is like the perfect balance of the body temperature, the perfect perfect balance of the virtues. And then when you find the Tao, effortless being without trying to make an extra effort, as if this is the way you are, then you will get to live till you are here. That's what Chibo means, that the practicing Tao. I hope this is, I didn't want to make this too religious, but this is, I think this is beyond religion. Like Tao is like eternal truth that I think any religion will essentially go to the same place. So Tao, practicing the Tao is what would give us longevity and content living. This is what Tao is. And I hope one day you have the aha moment. It's not like I have a whole 100% understanding of the Tao. I think you have many stages of the aha moments, and you can have as many aha moments in your life to get more deepen the understanding what Tao is. But I hope this helps. Today's presentation helps you. Thank you very much. It was Yumi Ridsdale from Trium Chinese Medicine about what is Tao. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.